All right, let's dive right in. We're going to jump into the world of Blender and show you just how fast you can go from a static 3D model to something that actually moves and feels alive.
You know that feeling, right? You've built something cool in 3D, but it's just sitting there? You wish you could make it move, give it some character, maybe even tell a little story. Well, that's exactly what we're going to do today. And trust me, it's way easier than you think.
Because at the end of the day, that's all animation really is. It's not some crazy technical nightmare, it's just the art of creating movement over time. It's about faking it, creating the illusion of life.
And the secret to all of this, the one thing you need to burn into your brain is this one simple word, keyframe. If you can understand what a keyframe is, you can animate anything. It's the absolute foundation.
Here's how it works, and it's beautiful. You don't have to draw or move your object for every single frame. Nope, you just take a snapshot of where it is. Then you jump forward in time, move your object to a new spot, and take another snapshot. And then Blender does all the heavy lifting. It magically, and I mean magically, fills in all the movement in between. That magic is called interpolation, and it's going to be your new best friend.
So yeah, that's where we're starting. We're going to make sure we really get this idea of keyframes and interpolation, because once you get this, everything else just clicks into place.
Okay, now for the practical stuff. We need to set up our workspace. Let's get our digital tools laid out on the table so we can actually get to work.
So first things first, when you open up Blender, just look right at the top of the screen. See that animation tab? Give that a click. The whole screen is going to shift around and give you the perfect layout for animating. Everything you need, right there.
And this new layout gives you 3 key windows. You've got the timeline at the bottom. Think of it like a flipbook. Then there's the dope sheet, which is basically an organizer for all your little keyframe snapshots. And then there's the graph editor. Ooh, the graph editor. That's the good stuff. That's your style control, where you make things look smooth and cool.
Enough talk, right? Theory is one thing, but let's actually make something move. We're taking that boring default cube and we're going to give it life.
Okay, follow along. Make sure you're on frame 1. Select your cube and hit the I key on your keyboard. A little menu pops up. For now, just click Lock Rote Scale. That tells Blender to save the cube's location, rotation, and scale all at once. Bam! See that little yellow diamond that just appeared on your timeline? That's your first keyframe. Now, just drag that blue line, the playhead, over to, say, frame 50, move your cube somewhere else, anywhere you want, and hit I and Lock Rote Scale one more time. That's it. You've done it.
Seriously, go on, hit the spacebar. Look at that, it's moving! You did it! That's animation, it's that simple. And that core idea is exactly the same whether you're moving a cube across the screen or animating a giant monster for a movie. It all starts with this.
Okay, pretty cool. But it looks a little robotic, doesn't it? It just kind of moves at one constant speed and then stops dead. The real world doesn't move like that. So how do we get that smooth, natural-looking motion?
Well, the answer to that question lies in what I call the animator's secret weapon. The graph editor. And don't let the name scare you, this is where the real art happens. This is how we make things feel believable.
See, right now, our cube is using what's called linear interpolation. It's a straight line from A to B. It's robotic. What we want is something called Bezier interpolation. Think about throwing a ball. You don't throw it at a constant speed, right? It starts slow out of your hand, speeds up, and then slows down as it reaches the top of its arc. That easing in and easing out is what makes things feel organic. And the graph editor lets us literally shape those curves of motion.
And to really get a feel for this, there is no better exercise in the world than the classic bouncing ball. I'm serious, every animator starts here. It teaches you everything you need to know about timing, weight, and physics.
Because a real bounce isn't just up and down. It's all about physics, right? The ball starts slow at the top, then gravity takes over and it accelerates, getting faster and faster. The impact on the ground is super quick, super sharp. Then it loses energy as it bounces back up, slowing, until it almost hangs in the air for a split second at the very top. All of those little changes in speed are things you control in the graph editor, and that control, that's what makes animation look great instead of just, okay.
So, you've done it. You've made an awesome animation, it's got style, it's got weight, so now what? How do you get this out of Blender and into a video file you can actually post online? Let's talk rendering.
Now listen up, because this is probably the most important pro tip I can give you. Do not render your animation straight to a video file, like an MP4. I'm going to say that again. Do not render straight to video. Why? Because if your computer crashes or the power goes out 2 hours into a 3-hour render, you lose everything, all of it. The safe way, the professional way, is to render to an image sequence first.
Here's the workflow that will save you so much pain. In your settings, you tell Blender to export your animation as a series of PNG images, one picture for every frame. That way, if the render dies on frame 257, no big deal. You've still got the first 256 frames saved perfectly on your hard drive. Once all the images are done, you just pop open Blender's video editor, import that whole sequence of images, and then render that into your final video file. It's one extra step, but it is absolutely foolproof.
So let's just quickly recap. What did we learn? 1. Everything starts with keyframes, those little snapshots in time. 2. The graph editor is your secret weapon for making things look natural and not robotic. 3. Pay attention to real-world physics, because that's what will make people believe what they're seeing. And 4. For the love of all that is holy, always render to an image sequence first to protect your work.
Look at that. In just a few minutes, you've gone from the core concept of a keyframe all the way to a professional rendering workflow. You now have the fundamental building blocks to animate literally anything you can dream up. So the only real question left is, what are you going to make? What will you bring to life?